The first time that I've ever memorized something was at the showcase. I'm super nervous, I'm shaking, I'm sweating before I go on. I do a deep breath, and then I'm just like in the moment.
In the silence before the first breath, when the world was just a whisper.
I have it in my mind, I know what's coming next, and I can just be here right now.
Almost ready to explode.
I found out about the Youth Poet Laureate program through a flyer at the library. There were about 17 other young writers, and I got to collaborate with them throughout the whole semester. It culminated in a portfolio that we submitted to apply to be recognized as the San Francisco Youth Poet Laureate.
We'll use what you learned today. So when you're writing.
In 4th grade, I'd written a poem for my dad. He had cancer. So I wrote a poem to him, all of the reasons why he's meaningful to me. He was really proud of me, and that's kind of what inspired me to keep writing.
1, 2, 3.
For me, the creative process is more about not coming up with something that's perfect beginning to end, but coming up with something that's true to me. One of the reasons I started writing poetry that I wanted people to hear was because it was the most beautiful way that I could share everything I was feeling while going through grief. One of my memories about this poem that I wrote my freshman year, I performed it at a dance concert, and somebody in the audience came up to me afterwards and said to me, I've never heard somebody put my experience into words that well. Understanding other people's experience and knowing that you're not alone is really important. I think poetry brought me to that.
What is poetry?
That's a difficult question. I think that poetry allows for a lot of self-reflection.
There are no souls underneath the soil, just your skin.
Every single action that you make has an impact, just like every word that you include in a poem has an impact. And that's really shaped how I go about my life now.
Make it personal to how you want it to come across, right?
The cohort was where I really started focusing on my performance skills. Before this program, I don't think I would have ever performed in front of an audience.
I quietly yield.
I'm still very nervous, but it feels empowering to be able to use my voice and for that audience to hear that work the way that I intended it.
My grandparents swear we would have walked tall, never ushered by the signs that severed humanity into halves.
Sharing poetry is such a vulnerable way of entering a new room. I don't know anybody's middle name, but I know exactly how they feel.
I'm honored to announce San Francisco's very first Youth Poet Laureate and Vice Poet Laureate. All the Youth Poet candidates, please stand up. The 2 winners are Curran and Aisha.
It was really surprising to be named the Youth Poet Laureate. I had told my mom earlier in the day to not come because I didn't think that I was gonna get it. But when she came, I was really, really happy. I went into the program wanting to be able to use my voice to change the city and use poetry as a more politically urgent tool. And I think the mentors did a really good job of helping me work through how do I apply my poetry in the context of politics or social dynamics. If our community supports the youth that are writing and the youth to write, we can spark a lot of change and shape our city and our society the way that we want it to be.
I was laughing, I was crying, I was holding everybody's hand. Being selected as the Vice Youth Poet Laureate made me believe in myself again, like I can do this, and my poetry connects with people.
The only thing I know is that I am flesh, and I am bone, and I am muscle, and tendon, and spine stretched thin into an arch.
In a time with so much disagreement, I think that human connection over borders of opinion is the most important way to move forward. And I think that human connection can be found in poetry and founded through poetry often.
Please welcome to the stage your laureate, Karan Gupta!
I spoke at the Light the City Hall Up Blue event, which was in honor of colorectal cancer.
Dear Dada, don't swim too far. The ocean hoists no rearview mirror. I watched illness swallow you like tide.
I think I used my voice in a way that brought attention to the issue. I hope that will lead to more research about the disease. There's a lot of responsibility with being a young poet. I hope to use my position to channel a lot of different perspectives from the youth, and I want to use writing and poetry as a universal language for our whole city.